Thank you very much. There we go. Okay. And we're taking our again, from the Lent handbook or booklet that from Unity, part of this, and you'll see that today is this Martha Schmock reading is about this question. What are you saying to yourself? 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 So it's not just about what are you saying, but also how you're saying it. She wrote, if you've read this in the Lent booklet, I'm sure we all read every single one. But here we're going to read it to you just in case. What kind of conversation, she asks, do you carry on with yourself? What are you saying to yourself right now? Remember, a few weeks ago, I talked about a topic that I talked about these experts, these nefarious they, who came up with these statistics, which I like. That I like them, but I like them as a challenge. Remember, they said that we think 70,000 thoughts a day, and out of those, 98% are repeaters. And 80% were negative. So if you do the math, only 20% of those are positive. So we want to up that percentage, don't we? That positive percentage. So today we're going to talk about positive self-talk, and I know there are probably old hats in the room, and what I mean by that is, this is old hat to you. You're one of those who spend your whole day transmuting any kind of negative thought that might come in to positive. You have practiced self-awareness. You're your own reliable watchdog, just in case a negative thought tries to get in. You're self-encouraging with self-talk. And you have the poise and spiritual grace from morning till night. Well, not all of us are old hatters. I like to say when I was growing up, I really didn't know much about this, except Mom would teach us that if we didn't have anything good to say, it's better not to say anything at all. So that might even be a good foundation to start from, had I thought of it. I was like I said, I wasn't one of those that I didn't wake up and wasn't born with this. And I have to confess, I was out of the Air Force and in the reserves at the time. I started my new job, and I have to say, this is how my morning started. I'd get up, I'd go into the mirror, and I'd look for pimples. I'd look at my bloodshot eyes, and I'd say some not very kind things about myself. Like, well, you look like you know what today. What the heck? Must have had too much wine last night. Those were the days when I had wine. I don't anymore. My bloodshot eyes are allergy causes now. But, so here we go. I just didn't know any better. And that was the beginning of the day. So you can imagine. Now, I wasn't a negative Nelly. You know, I was like I am. You know, I say hi to people. I smiled at people, tried to get them to smile. Sometimes I was just being a little brat, but that's how I was. You know, and but I didn't know about this idea. And when I made my way to that metaphysical chapel there, that New Thought Chapel in Tucson, then I learned about the idea that you could change your thoughts. You could change your thoughts. So that was new, and I have to say, the way that it was introduced to me was through affirmations. This is how to change your thoughts. Well, I was so excited. Can you imagine? All my life, which wasn't very long at the time, but I hadn't had this concept. I was so excited. I was at work one day, and I was walking from one building to the other, and I was walking with this woman that I worked with. And I thought, well, I'm going to tell her about this. So I was explaining it to her, and I was, very enthusiastic. And she got more and more tense, and more tense, and I finally noticed. And I said, "Are you okay? What's wrong?" She says, "Well, that just doesn't sound very Christian." And I was really surprised to hear that. Of course, we know at Unity that it is very Christian to extend our thoughts and our words and our actions positive toward the divine. And this is definitely of Christ's light. So I learned a couple things that day. So let's talk about trash talk and talking smack. Bet you never hear that in church. Didn't think you would. We're going to poke fun at ourselves is what's happening today. Okay, a little bit. You know, talking smack is not just for sports figures, although that's kind of what happens. You think about it. Maybe it comes to mind the wrestlers or some other pro athlete who they puff themselves up, and it's a false bravado, but they're puffing themselves up. Sometimes they try to deflate another to make themselves look better and so on. And it reminds me of Foghorn Leghorn. Anybody remember Foghorn Leghorn? Oh, and he was always trying to get that chicken hawk to get it on, you know, get up, hey, get up there, boy. And that's what it was. It seems funny, but you know, what's what we do? We kind of do that to ourselves, and it is rather deflating. And you think of the drooping Eeyore. Yeah, you know, it's not inflating at all, and it doesn't boost us. It pokes at us. It picks at us. It undermines our confidence, and it's toxic when we do that to ourselves or others. And if you remember, I have a slide here. There we go. So there we go. There's some of those terms you may recognize. I may have been guilty of using one or two. I did get some of the ideas from others. I don't know if they'll cop to it or not, Ken. But anyway, I like to add to this one because some of us may have this in our repertoire, which is grace. Oh, way to go, Grace. Yeah. It's not the self-poised grace that we talked about earlier, but it's that kind of grace, that smack talk, trash talk grace kind of thing. Thank you very much. Now we can go to the next one. And I'd like to say, take a look now. I've done something different this time. On the left, the Sephiroth system, you'll see I actually put the attributes to each center. And then we have in the center, we have the chakra system, and I put those attributes up there. And then we have the 12 powers on the right. Now, I'm bringing this to your attention again because these centers are real. It's real life. And they're in us, and we are impacting them by the words we speak, the thoughts we think, and the things we do, and the people we hang out with, really. All kinds of things impact this. And I like to go to the next slide here. There we go. Now these things we want to replace with, okay? So, but at this time, these are the things that I like to say. You're a slowpoke. No, take your time, love. Take your time. Take your time, love. Stupid knee. Beautiful knee. Beautiful knee, okay? So this is a free flowing of health when we're positive talking to ourselves. So I like to talk about reverse trash talk a little bit. You can leave that up for a second. Now, I came across the notion of something called reverse trash talk, and you can do it too by going to YouTube and looking at one of the video. And it's a guy whose name is John Cena. Anybody know of him? He's a wrestler and a celebrity, and he was on one of the late night talk shows. He was speaking with this talk show guy was James Corden, the British fellow, and he's explaining to this other guest. His name is Hugh Jackman, who was in and he's trying to explain and teach him how to do reverse trash talk. So I'm going to give you an example. It's not what they did on YouTube, but around the show. But this is what I'm going to explain what it is. Now, this is an example of trash talk. You're a dog and you'll never win the fight. That's trash talk. Reverse trash talk is, you're a great dog and you'll always win the fight. Okay, so the words are different, and the intention is different, so the energy is a little different, right? And it's a move in the right direction, but it's not quite what we're looking for, is it? We're looking for the loving, healing voice, that cheerleader, that booster club, that best friend, the confident, the higher self, reaching for and opening ourselves up to hear that divine voice talking to us inside. Thank you. Energy can heal or cause dis-ease. On the left you see what could very well be a Kirlian photo, which shows the picture of the aura. Yeah, it's depicting the aura, the energy that emanates from us, from our centers. Each center is filled with energy and light, and is exuding from us. And you see on the right is actually corresponds to the colors of the chakras. Many people believe their colors are. So I like to say, now energy, like I said, is in with each of us, every single center. It exudes with us. Now, if you think about it, there's coming up meridians and it's coming down meridians, and going into the centers like the shoulders and the hips and the spleen and the liver. And if you think about it, all these things are connected. Think of yourself as having your very own worldwide web inside of you, a connected matrix of light and loving energy. And our worldwide webs of energy connect to each other. And they connect to the universal wide web of energy, that of God. So these are real. This is real stuff. It's not just theoretical, which at 17 we might think it is. And soon we get a little more of an idea. And over time we realize, yes, this is actually true. This can be real. And it is. It is real. The energy is real, and we want it to impact us in a positive way. Donna Eden. Anyone ever heard of Donna Eden? She's an energy healer, an energy practitioner. She teaches about energy, and if you Google her or look for her on YouTube, she has some very excellent, very easy 5 exercises to get your energy moving in the right, positive way. And she says this: energy is body's best medicine. Energy. So when we want to raise our energy, we want to, with our self-talk, and we don't want to be drooping our energy by trash talk. Okay, so we're fasting on that trash talk. We're going to deny the illusion. Deny the illusion. We have a slide for denial as well. That's the one. There we go. Now, I'd like to just reiterate that denial is not about assuming the ostrich position with the head in the sand and the butt in the air, although that is a kind of denial. In unity, denial is a way to deny our belief in the power of a condition, the power of the illusion. That's what we are doing here in unity. Martha Smock wrote, "We deny in favor of the higher truth, the truth God would have for us." And Charles Fillmore, "We erase all thoughts of mortal limitation." So we deny the belief in impossibility, and we believe in our dreams. We deny the belief in the condition. This pain in the shoulder, perhaps, let's say, that's the illusion. The real energy is the healing energy of God. We switch that belief. There's a guy named Mike Dooley, I think I've mentioned him before, and someone said they had heard of him. He says, if one leg hurts, focus on the other one. Don't focus on the one that hurts, then you'll just get more of that. Just focus on the one that doesn't hurt. In unity, I like this affirmation. It's a unity affirmation. You know, I spend a lot of time on Googling Unity websites and stuff. Can you tell?
Yeah.
I get a lot of good stuff off of there. Pain and sickness cannot master me, for they are not real. And switch focus. We switch our focus from pain to the focus on our healing power. Again, that healing energy within us. That healing energy that Donna Eden talked about, our body's best medicine. Anybody besides me read the Science of Mind magazine? It's got a lot of good stuff. It just happened. I didn't make this happen now. It just happened. It was one of those synchronistic, loving things that go on. And one of her Ernest Holmes quote for today, this very day, is, "Your body is entitled to your respect." There we go. So we diffuse the power of the mistaken thought. We pop the balloon. We recognize the windbaggedness of the illusion. That puffed up idea. We recognize that's windbaggedness, and we diffuse that power. Thank you. We redirect our thoughts. We believe in the power of the universe instead, right? God. This is faith we're talking about here. We believe we can direct this power. I can move this from dum-dum to these things happen. These things happen. Doesn't that diffuse that power of that dum-dum? These things happen. So what, right? I'm a child of God without limits. We diffuse those energies and we bring it up. I'm a child of God without limits. We are not alone. How often do we hear this? It sounds like a cliche, right? One of those many cliches that happen to be true. God, the power of the universe, the essence of all that is, surrounds us. Remember the pictures of the energy around us? The power of God infills us. And that every center is vibrating and spinning with light, connecting with all those meridians, growing, and with every breath we breathe, we're bringing this up. And we want to bring that up and keep it healing. We are our own energy generators. Some of us believe that we have God's emissaries in their many forms around us. Another way of saying we're not alone. Some of us believe that we have angels, a spiritual entourage, an angel team that we go with. So it's the real A team. Thoughts, words, and visualizations. I'm going to call to your attention the stats from the experts. 70,000 thoughts a day, 98% are repeaters. And we're going to accentuate the positive, right, Barry? And we're going to grow that percentage of the positive thoughts up. And how we're going to do that is with thoughts, words, and visualizations, beginning with affirmations. Affirmations want a clear intention. This is a quote from Dr. Wayne Dyer. Our intention creates our reality. So, affirmations want to be clear. They want to be positive. It's not, I'm going to be healthy. It is, I am healthy. It's not, I'm not a dog who doesn't have a dog in the fight. It's a good thing. I'm saying something positive. I'm a winning dog. I'm a prize-winning dog in the dog show of life. Okay? I'm going to hear about that one. And of course, Martha Smock, she wrote this. An affirmation of truth, capital T, can be like a conversation around a centerpiece, which your thoughts center. Let's read that again because I messed it up a little bit. An affirmation of truth can be like a conversation piece around which your thoughts center. It's like the beautiful thing you put in the middle of the table. It's the beautiful thing you put in the middle of your mind. Also, she says, affirmation gives your thoughts a pattern to follow. So once you get going on one positive, you're just like, oh, I can think of all these other great things. And then we're to thoughts and emotions. You remember me mentioning Dr. Joe Dispenza, and he talks about energy quite a lot, and he also talks about emotions. Again, I want to remind you that energy can heal or cause dis-ease. So we want this energy to be, in our affirmations, to be positive. He says, emotions are the chemical reactions to our thoughts. I'm going to say that again because it's kind of powerful and it can slide around. Emotions are the chemical reactions to our thoughts. So, am I feeling angry? What was I thinking ahead of that? Am I feeling happy? You see how it works? And it affects our brains and our bodies. Recall the pictures of the energy fields. And so when we are thinking thoughts that affect our chemistry, we're drooping. When we're thinking thoughts that are not, then we're happy and we're expansive again. Good. And we create new. We create new with through visualizations. Visualizations, it's a new state of being is created through these thoughts and ensuing emotions. Mentally rehearse these in the future. We rehearse these visualizations. It's a rehearsal. So we want to create in our present. So this is what we do. We feel and we see that which we want. We see and we feel, mentally rehearse and emotionally rehearse decisions and choices, what we'll do, the experiences we want, and how we'll feel about them. I am going to feel so good. That's not the right run, is it? I feel so good doing this thing I'm going to be doing, that I am doing. And visualize myself in that position. Standing somewhere or sitting in front of a computer, or whatever the thing is that you're wanting to do. Perhaps in a canoe, going down a river. What kind of thing that you want to visualize? You're seeing it and you're feeling it and you're mentally rehearsing it. Dr. Dispenza also said, if clear intention focuses on the what, then this step focuses on the how you'll go about creating the change necessary to get the new job, to get that canoe in the river, whatever it is. Be grateful for the gift that is not yet received. So bring gratitude in, and that really umps up those affirmations. He says, focus on maybe being grateful for getting a compliment that you have not yet received, or a sunny day that hasn't happened yet. This is the idea. Now you may remember back in January 20th, when I gave my first talk, I quoted a man named Charles Roth, a Unity author. And this is what he wrote about gratitude. I'm going to read it again, because it's just as good today as it was then, and it will be. Gratitude is a spiritual enzyme that hastens the fulfillment of your prayer of faith. The other thing about self-affirming self-talk is as we continue walking along this spiritual path in an intentional manner, this becomes more subtle. So that negative thought doesn't slip by without our notice. We start noticing it. It becomes more subtle. We don't have the big things happening in our lives. We don't have the big 2x4s hitting us in the head trying to get our attention, because we have fine-tuned and we've practiced these things. We're not whipped around by the energies and the thoughts and the actions of ourselves or others. We're directing now, we're focusing now our thoughts, words, and actions. We are intentionally living in every aspect of our lives. I say, it's less about more to do than it is letting go of more. Again, less about more to do than letting go of more. It's not about adding more and more and more to obtain freedom and understanding. It's more about letting go of the things that stand in our way, the blocks, that we have created in our lives, and becomes a comfy old hat. And again, Martha Smock, you can put that one up if you'd like. Oh, I missed our I think I can. Remember the little engine that could? Yes, there we go. Martha Smock. I'm not going to read all of this, but I am going to bring your attention to the affirmation in the far upper right. There is no resistance in me. There is no tension, stress, or strain. I rest in God. I know that God is my life, my strength, my healer. Now, as we prepare for meditation, I would like to ask you to think of these centers of light moving within us, spinning and vibrating. The meridians of life, our world wide web within us, our matrix within us of light. So get comfy. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. And picture this beautiful light that's pulsating in our feet. Many, many centers in our feet. Beautiful centers in our feet, relaxing and healing and bringing about increased understanding. Every cell, every light, every bit within our feet, relaxing and healing. We now move up into our ankles, up our legs, and we feel our knees, the beautiful light vibrating inside of our knees and around our knees, inside and out. Skin and bone and everything. Beautiful healing, bringing us flexibility in our lives with every step we take. And up our thighs and into our hips. The centers here, the left and the right hips. And we know that we are in balance in our lives with every step we take. The beautiful, loving, healing energy settling in the base of our spine, connecting also with our hips and all the way down to our toes, our spine, the base of our spine, moving around into our lower abdomen, healing and touching the cell to the atom of every single organ and tissue and muscle, everything. Happy to do its job today. Happy to live its life in us. Happy to share life and love and healing with us. God's life, God's love. Healing now moving up our spine and around into our upper abdomen, into our lungs, our diaphragm. Our heart. Feel that loving, healing energy grow there, expanding. Our compassion growing and expanding, filling us with this feeling of love, this happiness and joy for being alive. Feel this now as it moves into our shoulders. Feel those energies, centers spinning, love and light, freeing us, letting go of the responsibilities that do not belong to us, and relaxing and allowing the healing energy to take its place. And feel the tingling of the light of this energy moving down our arms, into our hands, pulsating out of our hands. Feel it also as the energy moves from our shoulders into our necks, relaxing it, and into our throat. Feel that energy grow. Feel the energy grow, the loving, healing energy, bringing us positive and the highest and best in our words that we speak to ourselves and to others. And our voice is strong and sure. Allow the relaxing, beautiful light of God move into our jaws, relaxing them, releasing tension. We're breathing in the light and love, and we're breathing out the tension and the stress. Breathe in the love, breathe out the stress and tension. Breathe in the healing, and allow the healing now to move over your face, around the back of our heads, and over our heads, so that we feel the energy pulsating and growing from the tips of our toes to the tops of our heads. And these worldwide webs of energy we have within us, extending beyond us to the person sitting next to you and the next to them, until this entire room is filled, until this entire building is surrounded and extended beyond into our city, into our state, our country, our continent, around the globe. Healing and loving energy surrounding this globe, this planet of ours, this living, breathing, pulsing planet. Every needful thing touched, every place filled with love and light, the healing light of God, from the universal wide web of love of God. Now very slowly, feel the energy here in this room, healing each of us, healing you, healing me, healing the people, everyone here, from the tips of our toes to the tops of our heads. Feel the energy now in your hands, in your feet, because that's where you are in your seat. You know where you are, you're familiar with where your hands are, and you're in your body, where you're sitting, and you know where your hands and feet are, now and always. Thank you. Thank you. We have a special song that Barry is going to play for us today, and I hope you like it as much as I do. And he's wonderful, so I know it's going to be even better than we expect. Thank you, Barry. for accentuating the positive there. Beautiful, very much. Thank you.